I, 24F, hate my period and found a way to possibly get rid of it, but my boyfriend, 24 meters, doesn't want me to go through with it. Due to the genes I have received from my mother, I have a heavy flow. The cramps are bad, but I can safely say they don't stop me from walking or doing anything at times like some women. I pray for y'all. Anyways, my main problem with my period is the blood. It gets everywhere and always stains my underwear no matter how hard I try. I really just want it gone, so I did the bare minimum of research and saw that there's a medical procedure that stops your period for life. I had planned on asking my doctor about it when I could, so I can get more info, preferably from a resource I trust. I mentioned it to my boyfriend in casual conversation, how I couldn't stand my period and found a way to possibly get rid of it. Before I could even finish, he just simply tells me don't do it. Confused, I asked what he meant and he just said that it could be dangerous for me. I guess he's concerned, but that didn't sound like the real reason to me, so I kept prying. I didn't want to not go through with without an actual reason. He tells me that it could affect my ability to get pregnant. Needless to say, it caught me by surprise since I didn't even know he had been thinking about kids. I never planned on having any, nor do I want to for many reasons. The thought of it can just scare me to tears. He said that having kids was one of his life goals and how he'd be there for me every step of the way if we were to. I don't doubt that, but I'm not sure if I could handle being pregnant. I suggested adoption, but that didn't seem to catch his attention. Another problem is, I don't really know if getting rid of my period would affect if I could get pregnant or not. My doctor's office is closed for a while, so I can't really ask now. I'm wondering if anyone knows if it will or not. And if it does, I'm not sure what to do because I always swore myself off of having children ever since I was 12, and years later I still can't bring myself to find the appeal in it. I love my boyfriend naturally, and I'm scared he'd end things because of it. Too long didn't read. I am fed up with my period and found a way to possibly get rid of it, but my boyfriend doesn't want me to do anything because he's afraid I might not be able to get pregnant. I never wanted kids and I don't think I'll ever change my mind about it. My cousin had the procedure and she still bleeds. It also was to sterilize her. She had to try for years to find a surgeon willing to do it. Are you talking an ablation? As far as I know, they wait to do that till you're 40 because the tissue can grow back. My girlfriend is waiting 2 more years to have it done because of this. There are hormonal birth control methods that can stop your period. I have my second Mirena in right now and haven't had a period in a year and a half. With my first Mirena I had it in 7 years and had 6 years of no periods. Thank you. The first useful comment regarding the period topic. I myself have a smaller version of the Mirena and went with the hormonal injection for 7 years and haven't had my period since then. No way of getting pregnant plus no period. You two are headed for a breakup whether you have the procedure or not. You're incompatible on kids and there's no compromise and no one at fault. Give period underwear a go before you sign up for surgery. Let me say I understand hating your period and wanting to get rid of it because I was the same way and got rid of mine. My periods are the worst, bad cramps, terrible bleeding. And to top it off I'd have my period for a full 2 weeks, NKT have it for 2, and then get it again. It was hell. You don't need to be so extreme though. Birth control is a great way to stop having your period. 2 of the ones I've been on, including the one I'm on now, entirely stopped my period after the first 2 months on it. If you want, please feel free to message me and I can talk to you some about which ones helped me. But with your boyfriend, if he is steadfast on definitely wanting kids and you are steadfast on not wanting them, this may be the time to part from each other. You need to be on the same page with your significant other when JT comes to having kids. More often than not, when one person wants them and the other doesn't, resentment is going to fester, because someone is going to have to compromise on a topic that should never be compromised on. Do not have kids if you aren't 10,000% sure and excited that's what you want. Don't have kids just to appease your boyfriend, and you can't force him not to have kids to appease you. So I think you are probably going to need to have more conversations with your BF about the future. Wanting or not wanting kids is a pretty huge compatibility issue. As far as your period goes, have you considered a hormonal IUD? I had mine placed 3 years ago and within a few months I stopped having a period. It's fairly low risk, removable whenever and does not permanently affect fertility. My 40 meters wife, 37F, doesn't know anything about herself. How can I make good decisions for us? My wife and I have been married for almost 15 years. For the most part, we have had a great relationship. Rarely argued, we have found fulfillment in our personal and work lives. We haven't had any major struggles for the most part. But now, over the last few years things have deteriorated. I've always encouraged my wife to speak up and speak her mind, and we do pretty good at discussing decisions before making them together. But at this point my wife seems to have lost her ability to give a yes or no answer for small or big things, and this leads me to constantly making wrong decisions, and her being unhappy. Which grocery store do you want to go to? I dunno. Then when we are in there shopping, man I hate this shop, they never have what I want, I can't believe you like coming here. She still, fortunately, has the ability to tell me when she doesn't like something. And as we have gotten older, our likes and dislikes have changed. So for instance, there may be something in bed that she will tell me, you know I don't really like when you do that anymore, it doesn't do anything for me. So that's good, but if I say, okay, what do you like? She says I dunno. I don't really like that food now, I think I ate it too much. I don't really like our weekly game nights now, they have been getting boring. I don't really like going to my family's house each year for vacation. All of which is great input. Except when I ask what she would like instead. The answer is 100%, no exceptions I dunno. So now I'm left to make a decision as to where to go on vacation, or what sexual move to try, or what to make for dinner, with no info other than 1 or 2 things she doesn't like. Which means that whatever I try is probably going to be wrong. It's a shot in the dark. And it leads to arguments, or her not liking whatever the result is. We have had arguments about how if she doesn't give any input it's her own fault she is unhappy. And we have had serious calm discussion about it, about how not having input affects her, me and our relationship. She recognizes this, and always says she will think about it, and she is a thinker, but never comes to a conclusion. And if I bring it back up again, she gets upset that I pressure her, or keep asking the same questions when I know that she doesn't know the answer, etc. It's super frustrating to her too, to not be able to come to a conclusion of whether she likes something or not, so I feel bad for her. I know Reddit loves to suggest how everyone needs therapy. So for the record, we tried that. 2 different ones. Neither thought there was anything seriously wrong, and neither prescribed any meds. They gave her exercises in decision-making skills, or how to make pro/con lists, etc. So far, nothing has really helped. She doesn't seem to have any idea anything about herself. Too long didn't read. My wife doesn't know what makes her happy. She knows what she doesn't like, but refuses to give any input on what she does like. This leads to her being unhappy with almost every one of my decisions. How can I help make better decisions? I agree with a lot of people on here. You will be miserable and stuck if she can't figure this out. My ex was awful at this for a long time. I could rarely get her to join in on the basic decisions. It didn't bother me much at first. I thought it was kind of cute even. But after a while, it began to wear and started creating arguments. Don't get me wrong, she was pretty solid with major life decisions, but those are few and far between. Then took a weird turn where she wouldn't have an opinion and would claim I didn't have one either if she didn't like the answer. I eventually just gave up on having an opinion as well, and our relationship just dragged for years because of it. Sometimes she would ask what I wanted for lunch. She wouldn't have any suggestions. I would list 5 places and she would say no to each and then complain that I didn't have an opinion on where we ate. I'm not a mental health professional, but while trying to sort out my own issues, I learned a lot. Look up dysthymia and potentially codependency. As for therapy, the therapist can only work as hard as the patient. If she doesn't want to do the homework, she won't get better. Don't make any decision like what to make for dinner or what grocery store to go to. Let her do it herself. She is being passive aggressive and negative. This isn't about her not knowing an answer or opinion. Yes, but then isn't that me being passive aggressive in response? Plus, I still need to make a decision. So I make the decision and just make myself dinner. So while I might be justified in making that decision, I can't imagine me just saying forget you, and doing everything independently and forgetting about her is going to cause less arguments. I have to see my ex every week. How do I not let it affect me so much? Too long didn't read. Seeing my ex messes me up. She lives in my apartment complex. I see her maybe once or twice a week. Every time I run into her I just nod and wave and keep going. It's been 5 weeks since we broke up. I absolutely hate seeing her. It makes me feel like I'm going to throw up. She's the one that wanted all this. Every time I see her I think oh, I'm giving off the signal I don't want to talk to her by keeping walking or driving the other way. But the thing is, she already told me she doesn't want to be with me. I have to keep my dignity and not try to talk her out of it. But oh man, is it hard, every single time. Such a weird experience. I think to myself, oh yeah, Terry's that person that lives over there that I thought I would spend the rest of my life with. Nope, can't talk to her, keep moving. And she never reaches out after I see her, which feels like more rejection each time. Does anyone have any suggestions? No, I can't break my lease and move. I couldn't afford that. Thank you. Change up your routine as much as you can. If you run into her as you leave for work, start leaving earlier. Start leaving your apartment at different times for errands, gym, etc. Basically, you already have a general idea of her schedule, so make yours the complete opposite. In the meantime, save money like crazy and look for a new apartment to prepare in advance. Work on bettering yourself, and every time you do see her, just give an indifferent nod and be on your way. Don't dwell on thinking about her or your past. You broke up for a reason. You will eventually find someone amazing who loves you as much as you love them. This is a really difficult situation, but it seems like you're taking the best approach to handling it. That doesn't make the pain any better, but it does mean that the alternatives, trying time, start a conversation, running away when you see her, etc., would make you feel even worse. There are some things in a breakup that you just have to power through. This sounds like one of them. I know you can't break your lease, but you should plan on moving when it's up. Maybe start looking now, at least by browsing apartments online, just to give yourself a fresh start to look forward to. Go to the gym, improve yourself, dress better, etc. Soon you'll just feel good. Maybe she'll see it and feel bad, or maybe you'll be so focused on yourself you'll be over it. Either way, it's a good shout to improve yourself. She doesn't want to be with you. It sucks and it hurts, but there's nothing you can do about it. No amount of begging or pleading your case will change that. So from now on, she is dead to you. No hellos, no waves. She is somebody you used to know. This sucks, but she's doing the right thing, even if it feels cruel, by not keeping in touch. Clearly you're hurting. Would staying friends make it any easier? I'm sure she'd rather have a clean slate and let you heal too. Not anybody's fault that you live in the same building. You gotta do all the classic breakup shit. Pick up some new hobbies. Get in touch with old friends. Watch a sappy movie and cry your eyes out. A year you won't even think of her.